sometimes it's like to be full-time creative, the biggest obstacle you face is being full-time inspired. And welcome to
That was beautiful.
every time.
Okay, do you want to slate?
Oh, slate. Do we have to though? It's like a 2 second difference.
Sorry?
Do we have to slate every time?
No.
You just like it.
I'd rather it just so it's easier syncing it.
So it's all about you.
Usually.
Make your life easier. Fuck us, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Fuck,
Yeah.
I finished my coffee already.
Okay. Where's my water?
Okay. What did you do this week, Justin? I saw you 2 days ago.
I added sound to a video and watched TV.
You added sound to a video?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean the sound? Oh, the sound design?
Yes, sir.
Sounds pretty good. What was that?
It's just the headphones are around there.
Oh, true. Arvin's trying to figure out a comfortable position.
Yeah, sort of fuck up here.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
But yeah, that's what I did. What about you? What did you do?
What did I do? I played basketball yesterday and I injured myself a little bit.
How good are you at basketball?
Oh, dude, you don't even want to know.
I bet, man. I can just see it.
Fucking. If I just stuck to it a bit longer, I'd be in the NBA.
Sure. Yeah, if you got your 10,000 hours in
Yeah.
when you were a
When
child.
I was a child, it was a
Because
bit.
that's the only way.
If I got a basketball when I was a toddler, then maybe yeah.
Yeah, you try and get your 10,000 hours in now.
I've thought about it. I want to dunk. I want to learn how to dunk. I feel like at this age, if I can learn how to dunk, I will literally be like, I can do anything physical. Like, I can, like, physically accomplish anything.
I can be LeBron.
I could be LeBron. Dude, if I could learn how to dunk from, like, I have no hops. I have maybe, like, I don't know, like a 10-inch vertical. If I could get, like, I need a 36-inch vertical, probably, or, like, 28.
Work
to
those
dunk.
legs out, pal. Get
Yeah.
those quads moving.
Dude, you can learn. Apparently, it's, like,
You
doable. I thought it was, like, if you're not tall enough or whatever,
Well,
you
how
can't.
tall are you? Like
I'm like
5'8"? 5'6"?
I'm exactly 6.
Okay. Oh,
I'm like exactly.
you don't look it, man.
I know, everyone says that. Fuck you guys.
Same though.
You're what, 6'1"?
More like 6'6" or something.
No, actually, though.
6'1".
You're 6'1"?
I'm 6 and like 3/4, so I say 6'1", which I think is
You-
fair.
Yeah, you look 6'1".
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. You're
Yeah.
gonna make me blush.
you look exactly how tall you are.
Yeah. Oh my
What a
god.
compliment.
Uh,
Yeah, no, played. That's what I do work-wise. I'm trying to think. Oh, we got that new project coming up, which I don't want to say too much about until it's complete. Like, sorry, it's finalized. But we might be doing something cool, like a very 2020 related video.
what's that mean?
To get like a video it's gonna be end of the year
Right.
recap
Yeah. Of
video.
all the things that have
Yeah,
happened.
but it's gonna be for a brand actually that we're working with, and it's gonna be pretty cool because it's not just like showing everything that happened, but trying to use it to give a message for 2021, to the
And
people.
you have a good vision for it too, so it's
Yeah.
exciting a bit, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like very new right now because we just had a phone call like when did I see you? 2 days
Tuesday.
ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. So it's like now it's like kind of fresh. So it's not confirmed. The details and the budgeting is being worked out. But once that's a go,
You've got that excitement in you.
yeah, because we're already thinking of ideas and
Yeah.
the ways we're gonna do it,
Mhm.
and music wise and shots wise. So I'm pretty excited.
Cool.
Should be cool.
Yeah, I agree.
And then just music video planning right now. We're trying to film. My birthday's in a couple weeks, so I'm thinking like on that weekend we film a music video. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be fun.
You want to film on your birthday?
Yeah, because you ever get birthday blues,
Yeah.
right? So like, how can you have birthday blues if you're on set?
As long as you're with people, it's good.
Yeah, but then also if you're like filming, like if I'm doing what I love, like it's like, how could that be a bad birthday?
Yeah.
I want to do something big this year. Like I had an idea when like last birthday happened, but then with COVID and stuff and like what I wanted to do, I don't think I'll be able to.
What did you want to do?
I might do it next year, so I don't want to say it yet.
Oh.
It'll be like a big event.
Wow.
I want to make something out
How
of
are
my
you gonna
birthday.
do that to us though?
I know. Sorry guys, stay tuned. Watch this podcast for a year, and then maybe I'll.
How
let you know.
about give me a hint and I'll guess?
It's not that crazy. I'm just
Go to a bar.
yeah, basically. Just go to a
Okay,
bar.
Yeah, go.
I'm gonna go to a bar and drink.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
30th. But
That's crazy, man.
I mean, I'm going to. You know what I was gonna do this year?
What
Yeah,
were you
fuck
gonna
you.
do?
I was gonna go to Banff because I'm going to Banff next week.
Yeah.
But I was gonna try to line it up with my birthday, so I was in Banff
For
like
your
doing
birthday.
shrooms on my birthday.
Whoa.
That would have been sick. But then we're actually going a week before, so I might just do that thing where like make it a birthday month. You know, just
Yeah.
celebrate the week before,
Yeah,
celebrate
yeah.
the week of, celebrate the week after. Might do it.
Just
don't know.
every day you have that thing that those girls.
The sash.
wear.
I got a sash.
No, girls wear that little like button.
Oh, the ribbon
thing.
or whatever. Yeah. It's like vote for, but it says
And you're
like
just
birthday.
wearing it all day, every
Birthday
day
month.
for September. Yeah.
Virgo season, you know. But
Don't
brat. But
I don't know anything about
what?
Virgo season. What's that?
It's just like it's Virgo month. That's the birthday.
Taurus season.
Month. Yeah, everyone does it. Virgo season just sounds kind of cool.
I
Taurus
feel like
season
I've
sounds kinda
heard
weird.
that though. Like I've never heard Taurus season. I've heard Virgo season. That
Yeah, I
sounded
feel
pink.
like
is it the way Virgos are that makes it a season?
I think it just rolls better than like Taurus season, Virgo season.
Taurus time.
Taurus,
Cause I'm a Taurus. That's why I'm saying that.
Leo. No, I'm trying to think of another cool way to say something.
Leo, lie down. I don't know, man.
Aries all the time. Sagittarius. Siesta.
Season.
Season works too.
Yeah.
Sagittarius season.
Siesta would.
Siesta's
That kind of suck because you'd be asleep, right?
Sagittarius nap time.
Yeah, exactly. That would be funny if that's like what they're known for, as being like relaxed and stuff.
Yeah, it's a
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius nap. It's a siesta.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Is that what siesta means?
I think so. Fiesta's like a party.
Siesta's like the itis.
Siesta's
You take a nap after.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
I'm pretty sure.
Siesta.
Yeah.
Siesta, an afternoon rest or nap, especially one taken during the hottest hours of the day. That can be Sagittarius. That's December, so that cannot be a siesta because that's like it's the hottest.
Yeah, but you.
The hottest hours of the day in a
like,
hot climate.
Everything's like out, like everything's kind of gloomy and stuff. You can't be outside. Take a siesta.
Sagittarius siesta. Did you just create something? I think so.
Make sure you give us credits in the
Yeah.
comments. I don't know.
Cancer chai time. No, that's
Cancer. Yeah, I think this is.
I think we're done. with that.
Yeah.
That's the most we can
It's
squeeze out of
ran-
that topic.
It's ran its course.
What was I gonna talk about? Yeah, the music video coming up. So yeah, we might do that on my birthday. I'm thinking in a couple weeks. Yeah, I'm excited for it though, cause like I haven't done anything creative in a while. I feel like it's been a lot of like with this year being as it's been. I feel like I've taken a big break from doing like just a passion project. So I'm pretty excited. That'll be
That's
kinda
good.
fun. But I think that's kind of what we wanted to discuss too, right? Like it's like I'm trying to. I gotta stop looking at that thing, cause now I'm trying to transition it like in a smooth way.
Were you talking about passion projects?
Passion projects and being
get to be
inspired
creative,
and being
inspired.
inspired to
Yeah.
do passion projects.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Like with music videos, it's like you get kind of lucky, like especially if you like the song. Like I'm working on music that of an artist that I'm managing, so it's like I like all his music. So it's if a song is good, then half the battle of inspiration just is right there. It's like the song is inspiring me, you know. Like if you have to write a script or to make an ad, you still need to be inspired to what you can do creatively a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A song, I feel like it's 50% of the inspiration already.
For sure.
It's already making you think of things and feel things and like, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's that sometimes it's like to be full-time creative, the biggest obstacle you face is being full-time inspired, like all the time, you know.
Yeah,
Because
it's-
sometimes it's just like writer's block and you're like, oh man, what the fuck
It
do
goes
I
up
create?
and down, right? Like
Yeah.
you have those 2 months where you can't stop thinking of things that you want to create, and then
Yeah,
you get the next 2 months where you can't even get one thing
Yeah.
out that you could possibly.
sometimes if like, and I'll use like we're saying music videos, but I'll use a script for example. Like I'll write like the first half of a script like this because I'm just like ideas, and then I'll just get stuck on a page, and that page might last like a month and a half because I'm just like I don't know what the hell, and and you can't, I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe like you have to kind of treat it like fuck it, even if I can't think of it, I gotta write. That's people say every day write, even if it's shit, just write every day. But I go through like at least a couple of weeks where I'm just like I don't even want to look at the page because I can't think. I'm just not inspired.
Yeah.
I'm just not enjoying the
make you
idea
angry
anymore.
too.
Like at the moment, at least, like I know the idea is dope, but like right now, just not feeling it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, I mean, you even hear in like Hollywood and stuff, right? Like sometimes it takes like 7 years to write a script.
Yeah.
You know? Because like you can start and you can have ideas, but you work on other stuff in between because this idea is just not taking.
It's almost takes its backseat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then music videos or like ads, the one good thing is I guess is like you're working on a timeline.
Yeah.
So it's like for me at least, I like having my back against the wall because it's like I have to do this next week or have to submit this to a client by next month. So it's like I have to force myself to be creative. When it's a passion project, you're just like,
there's no deadline for this.
yeah, you're accountable for yourself.
It happens when it happens.
Yeah.
And you also get like a little attached to the idea, so you're like, this needs to be perfect almost.
You're so precious of it, yeah.
And you don't want to write down stuff that you're gonna be like, I don't like that. Although you should be writing down that stuff and then go back to it like a month, 2 months later.
Yeah. But that's the thing,
and
right?
Then
You
revise it.
If it's passion project, you sometimes give yourself that leeway, like, oh, 2 months down the road, I can look at it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, a client thing. If it's a gig for someone to create an ad, you can't do that.
No,
it's like we met today. We finalized the budget. We have till like 3 weeks or a month and a half to have the final product done.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like let's work now, you know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but
I have a question for that. Oh, yeah, am I allowed to?
we probably won't hear you. Just
I'll
repeat
repeat
it.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so when you're talking about passion projects like that, I find that I do the same as you do. Like, if I'm not into it, I don't write, I don't touch it because you just don't feel it. It's just trash that comes out. But I find that sometimes when you do that, you just don't do it at all. It just kind of flies. So.
Well, yeah, so he's basically saying that like if you get pressures with the passion project, and like then you don't feel it, you give the thing is you give yourself room to be like, you know what, I'm not feeling it, and it's a passion project. If I'm not feeling it, then maybe I'll write it next week or the week after, because this week I'm just not in that zone, and that's like a crutch or that's also like a what's that word? It's a double-edged sword. The fact that you don't have a deadline fucks you up because then you're so like. I'll only write this if I'm like in the zone, and then you might never finish it because you're just like you finish the first half, and it's happened to me. I'll finish the first half of a script, and then I'll be like, oh, you know what? It's not just like feeling good anymore, so I'm just gonna take a break, and then you never revisit it, or you do like a year later, and you're like, oh fuck, I never finished this. But that's the thing, like if the difference between being like a 9 to 5 or even like when you're creating gigs for a client is like you're accountable by someone else. Someone else is like, you have to submit this by this time. One thing as a creative you gotta get better at, which I'm trying to still improve, is like be accountable for yourself. You know, like it's like waking up. It's like I don't like me and my buddy were talking about this because I'm trying to wake up every day at like 9 a.m. right now, which honestly I think is kind of early, but I know there's people out there that are like that to them is so late. Like there's a 7 a.m. club, there's like a 6 a.m. club, people who wake up at that time or that time or that time, right? And it's like waking up for me, if I don't have like a scheduled phone call meeting or a face-to-face meeting or something to do at 9 or shoot time at 8 a.m. call time, then I have no I have no reason not to kind of sleep until 10:30, especially if I'm feeling tired because I'm like, it's my own time, right? Then you got to be accountable and you got to get into that mindset, and it's like any habit that takes time to form. You got to just force yourself and be like, and feel, you have to have that feeling of like anger or regret or like that, oh my god, I didn't wake up at this time today, I didn't finish this script by this week like I told myself, you know. So it's like this kind of like a personal, like you have to be your own manager almost, you have to be your own CEO, which is like takes time to form because it's so easy to just like lie to yourself or tell yourself like, nah, I'll do it next week or whatever. So that's one thing I've been learning the most with being like an entrepreneur, being like a creative that's like doesn't have anyone on top, like above me to kind of like pull strings. It's just me. I got to pull my own strings, you know. So it's like I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely a different kind of what's the word? A different kind of obstacle. Because like the obstacle when you have a job or you're 9 to 5 is like, fuck, I gotta get there by 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. and you're like, you kind of hate it. But when you don't have that, you kind of hate that you don't have that. Because it's like this, you know.
So I read a book. It's kind of along the lines of that.
You'll get it one day.
Yeah, The War of Art. I think you.
Oh
read
yeah,
that
yeah,
too, right?
yeah.
So he's talking
Resistance.
about exactly, and he's like, you have to wake up and make yourself be creative at 9.
So
to
that
5.
every day
It turns into, okay, 9 o'clock is when I'm creative till when I'm done writing.
Your body, your mental clock, and your body kind of like programs to that, right?
Yeah, it turns into a habit. Like, now this is the time I turn this on, and this is work time. Now I'm creative, and it just kind of happens after you have trained your body after a certain amount of time, right?
And he uses a term in the book like over and over again. The main thing is resistance, right?
Yeah.
And it's it's similar to when you're writing a story or something, and you kind of use devices. Literally just because it's not a tangible thing, resistance.
No.
Neither is like you know in story there's like act 1, act 2, act 3. They're not tangible. The reason you create act 1, act 2, sorry, I'm talking about two different topics, but like I'll use a story as an example first. when you write a script, you have act 1, act 2, act 3, you have a climax, you have rising action, you have, there's another theory, there's a story circle where it's like, you got to start up in an unknown territory and then go to a known territory, known territory, go to an unknown territory. And basically there's like so many formulas, right? And it's just to make something that's intangible tangible so that you don't lose your mind. Because when you're writing a script, it's so fucking abstract because you can start like with this character, he's like in his house and he ends up by the end of the film murdering someone, you know? Like there's so many things that can happen in it that when you're writing it, you're like, oh my God, like there's no like ceiling or fucking ground. Like I'm just like all over the place.
Yeah, you're getting so many ideas where it can go 10 different ways.
Yeah. So act 1, act 2, act 3 or story circle, all that to me is not bullshit, but I think it's just there to keep you sane. So that if you lose track, you're like, okay, fuck, so he did this, he met this character, and then this happens, and then this scene. Instead of being like, what the fuck do I do next? You're like, okay, well, that's act 1.
Yeah.
Now I need an interesting incident to happen on page 20 to then go to the next step, which is then the rising action, then the climax. By doing that to yourself, you're like, okay, so I have to write this scene now. Instead of being like, what the fuck's the next scene? Similar to that, the resistance, that's what he uses, bringing it back to what you're saying, the war of art, resistance. I think it's like such a thing to create because he's basically saying you're fighting every day almost. And resistance is like your writer's block. Resistance is like your reason to not think of inspiration, not get inspired. Or resistance is like excuses like your personal life. You got to do this, or you got to go pick up this, I have to go do groceries, or I have to do this. It's like excuses and reasons. And it's like he gives them this kind of like spiritual force that it's out there. Like there's things out there trying to stop you to be creative and do your thing, right? And again, it could be bullshit, and he could be onto something fucking that's exact, and there's something that exists out there that stops you from being creative. But by just creating the resistance, you now have something you're battling instead of yourself. Like, you know how I was saying accountability is like if I don't want to wake up on time, I'm the only one that really matters right now because it's my company, right? Or it's my project that I have to finish a script. If I don't finish this, I told myself, dude, I'm in the middle of a fucking script that I told myself by September I'm going to have a first draft done of a feature film script. I'm like 30 pages in, and I need to write 120. So I know I'm not going to do that. Why? Because I gave myself so much slack. I'm like, oh, I don't feel inspired this week. I'm not going to really work on it. Or I have this other music video coming up. I'm going to work on that. Doesn't matter.
That's what he calls resistance, right? It's just all these other things. You're making excuses for yourself, right?
But that's the thing. But then I wasn't looking at it as resistance. But if I look at it like that, like there's something out there. Like there's something I have to overcome and have to it's me against that, not me against me. Because if it's me against me, I'm winning regardless, so it's like less pressure, like less reason to really be accountable.
But it's this other entity that.
Then I'm like, I gotta beat that. So like what I love is I think
it's almost like a sport type thing.
Yeah, it's competitiveness and it's like a drive. You're against something. I don't know about I think it's human nature, especially for me. It's like I said, back against the wall. If I have to do something to win or achieve it, if it's more tangible, then I'm like more. Like, I gotta fucking do this, and I will do it. Yeah. But if it's very open-ended, then I'm like, I'm very last minute, like in school too, like night before. As
much as possible.
Dude, I used to study for exams. Like, I remember on the day of, I would show up 2 hours before the exam, everyone's cramming, and that's when I'd be cramming.
Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, I did a lot of that too.
Right? Like, it's
like day before you've maybe studied.
I think that's a personality thing for people who are like, who end up going into like their own. I might be. It's me saying a fact out of my ass. I'm probably wrong. But I think that's a thing for people who are creative, or they're very last minute because they need to have that kind of pressure to kind of get that creativity out, you know. But even like there's like the first bit of the book, I really liked. He talks about like his just day before he starts getting into the book, like the resistance. The first few pages, he's like, I go to the office, I get coffee, I sit down. From 9 a.m. I start writing. By 12:30, 1 p.m. I know I've really squeezed out everything I could for 3-4 hours, and I count that a successful day. I tell myself at least today I wrote for 4 hours, and then I wrap up, I do my personal stuff, and I go home. And just the way he puts it, he's like, today I beat the resistance.
I beat it.
You know,
yeah.
Today I actually sat there for 3-4 hours. I wrote something new. I finished something, and I
won this battle today.
Yeah, and I feel like, and I tried that a couple times, and it was a pretty sweet feeling to be like, today I'm gonna sit here for 3 hours and write something, and I did that, and then it's like, again, after a while, it has to become a habit. Otherwise, it's just going to be something you do for a week and then don't do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because it's so easy to just drop out of it. So yeah, it's like I don't know, creating something like that, like the resistance, or treating it like it's a battle you have to win every day. I think is more productive than just being like, I'll write when the inspiration comes to me. Sometimes, you know, it's a very
I agree with that.
And I mean, like sometimes you do get lucky. Like for me, it's like I think we talked about it a bit last time, maybe. But it's like, where does inspiration, for you, for example, where does inspiration come from?
A lot of places. It depends. Like maybe you're watching a movie.
Movies are huge for me. Like
But,
I'll be
like-
watching a film, and even if I like, it's not the exact same idea, but it's like I'll see something and it'll like inspire something in me. You
Like
know?
you see a movie and you see like a set or a certain type of lighting or something, and you go, "Oh, I think that would work in this other type of story that I might want to tell."
Yeah.
It's little weird things like that. Like even just like like driving past places and being like, that would be a good set for a certain scene, and then you kind of build something around that. And yeah. It's where
No,
most of
for me, it's also emotion too, right? Like what a scene makes you feel. Like I can literally then start thinking of like a whole world around that feeling.
Mhm.
Like I'll see a scene, I'm like, this is such a cool, like him leaving the airport and getting into this and accomplishing this feat. I'm like, oh, that's a really cool feeling. What if the film started with this shot and then this and then this world and then, you know, just because they gave me that feeling of like happiness or sadness that I can just build on.
Yeah.
Because the thing about great films is like they give you such a specific emotion. Like it's such a specific happiness or specific sadness that I feel like that really kind of pulls you to like make something dope.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Trying to think where else I would find
Music
inspiration
videos,
from.
obviously.
Yeah.
Music itself too. I don't know if you do that. Like sometimes if I'm stuck, I'll just listen to music.
Yeah.
I'll go for a walk and I'll just put music
For
on
sure.
to get out of my head and just like, cause music, I don't know, I like, and then I don't know if you do it too. I feel like a lot of people do it. And then you listen to music and you're walking outside. It's like you're walking to the music. Like this is you're creating a world in your head where you're the character in this song.
You've just exited from like this mass murder you've
Yeah,
done, and
or
you're,
a
like,
robbery, or
strutting
yeah.
around.
Or you're going to see a girl, or like, you know, you just, depending on the song.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I've thought of so many ideas like that. Like I'll listen to a song and I'm like, that'd be a sick opening to a TV show. And I'll like think of this idea and I'll
Mhm.
create a world around that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or this song would be the sick end credits
Mhm.
to like a scene where like some people look at each other and then they just like realize that something went wrong in the heist they did or whatever the fuck, and then end credit for this episode. And then that's all I'll think of that scene. And then I'm like, oh, but why'd they get to that scene? Why
Yeah.
are they thinking this way? Oh, and then why this? And then all of a sudden this fucking world starts forming. You know?
Yeah, it's your own thing now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from this song that I heard.
Mhm,
So
exactly.
yeah, I love doing that too. There's a game I used to play where there are two versions of it where it's like it'd be driving, like a road trip game really. It's like you put a song on, any song, and the person puts on shuffle, or like they pick a song, like the passenger or the driver, and then you have to think of a scene to that song.
Wow.
Like what would this song represent? It was really fun. I used to do it a lot when I was like in university.
That does sound like fun, because that happens a lot too, where you're just in the car and you like listen to a song like old like 80s rock. I don't know. What
Yeah,
play,
and then
but,
you're like, this could be like a high school film. or
yeah,
this could be like
exactly.
a-
Like them off on a road trip. Like I
Mhm.
don't know.
So no, it's fun. And then the other version of the game is like to be like, I give you a scene. I'm like, this scene is this guy just won the championship, or this scene is like this is like a
Give me
kid.
a song.
Give me a song that fits this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like it's kind of, and then you look into your library and you're like looking for a song. And that's a fun
Mhm.
game too. But and that's like there's like those like they're not real exercises, but I take them as like exercises for creativity.
Well, what I find myself doing now is actually like listening to a lot of music that I don't usually listen to. So like
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what the genres would be, but like I was saying, like 90s, 80s rock music, and whatever, like old like 70s. I don't even know what the type of music would be called, but whatever.
Like 70s like psychedelic rock or hippie rock or something like
Not
that.
even rock, but like I don't know, like
Blues.
no. I don't
What
see,
did they
that's
make
the
back
problem.
then? I swear they made
don't know.
mainly rock and roll back then, or like.
I'll list. I have them on like a music playlist thing where I'm like, okay, I would want to use this for a video because it kind of inspired me a little bit,
Mhm.
right? So it's like, that's what I do is I just listen to old stuff, and like think of like not music videos, but like videos that it might be able to work with. So like,
Give me a
maybe like
give me a
a-
song.
right, I just gotta find the playlist on my
You should also listen to thing,
what?
like songs from other like languages.
Yeah,
I love that too, man. It's like
I got a couple.
world
of those.
music, you know, like it gives, because it's like the whole anime discussion or foreign film discussion. Like I watch foreign films as well, because if you keep watching one genre, or like Hollywood's almost a genre now. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? Like it's
mhm.
not just that it's like horror thriller in Hollywood. It's like there's like this Hollywood vibe to it. But if you
Mhm.
watch like a Chinese film or like a Bollywood film or like a whatever film, right? Like it change a Korean film. It changes their perspective on like
Yeah, and you get different like inspiration that
Yeah,
you're not getting from
that
the
you would
thing
never
you're
get from.
always, yeah.
Same with music too. Like I started listening to some like Russian music recently, and then There's one song that I really listened to a lot lately, but I don't even know what the fucking language it is. It's just like I don't know, maybe French. I don't know, but yeah, it's just like you listen to that and you just hear sounds that are different that you wouldn't hear in regular music.
Mhm.
You know.
Okay, so I got the. So like
Give
it's
me one.
Leslie Gore. You don't own me.
Leslie.
Are we gonna
Gore.
play it? But that might
You
like.
can like 15 seconds. You can play it.
Okay. See, like shit like that.
That's so Scorsese. That's
Right?
so like Irishman
Like it's just
or
like, oh my gosh, or like
Goodfellas.
Run Around Sue. Like sometimes I just listen to this now. That's loud.
Would that be rock?
I don't know.
It is rock.
Is it rock?
Like old school.
Oldies. That's what they call them. Oh yes, that is Departed or Irishman. I'm pretty sure. Pause it. It can't be too long.
Sorry. Oopsies.
That.
Or like I'm listening to like I don't know if people know like Lorne.
Yo, Lawrence. Oh,
Wait, that's called
Lorn.
that's called oldies. But what
So
was
what,
it?
you're
Was
an
it called
expert
oldies?
now?
No, but was it called oldies back then?
I
Those
don't
current
think
it was
so.
currencies.
Pop music probably.
Ah, that's probably
Right?
pop back then.
Yeah.
You know what I like listening to sometimes?
Shoot.
Like composers. Yan Tiersen.
Like classic music stuff.
classical music,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
No words. Yan Tiersen. Like just straight like piano riffs, and just to get you, because they're just very like emotional.
You're like the guy from Clockwork Orange.
Oh, I gotta watch that. He watches the.
He loves Beethoven or something. Symphony
also
7
in,
or something like that.
Leon the Professional. He's like a Beethoven fan. They're always like
Yeah,
the fucked up guys are always like Beethoven fans.
Yeah. That's why I want to listen to that stuff too, because that would be interesting now to even put in like I don't know a
Well,
fucking clothing ad or something.
Even like
it's so
Hans
different.
Zimmer, man, like soundtracks like that
Yeah.
he just does so nice. But Leslie Gore, she's pop rock.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
pop rock,
Yeah, I
whatever.
think that's what it was
We're
back
both right. Whatever. I'm more right.
Usually, yes.
I said pop. But what you were gonna
Let
say
you have
something,
it.
Arvian?
Yeah. I'll come back. Hold on. There's this composer that I know that's like really.
Okay. But also like, I like classical music because back in the day when we were in elementary school, like every morning you do the national anthem, right? Do the birthdays over the announcements, and then they'd make everyone listen to a classical music song every morning.
They didn't pick because for us it was like they would pick like normal like radio songs. Like
No, we
when
had to listen to classical music.
really that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
No, ours was like they put radio song, like any song that was like hit like Taylor Swift or fucking Ed Sheeran, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Well, back then it was Ed Sheeran and poppin'. But yeah, anyways, Black Eyed Peas, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But and then like as soon as like it was like 5 minutes of class, then the fucking I don't know where it's from, but the classical music, but it's like there's like the race song.
Right, yeah.
It's like so it's like class about starting 5 minutes, so like music would end and
Get
that
to-
would start
get to
playing.
class.
So everyone's like running and shit, but they would literally like put
We-
that on to give us that.
We would be like in the class and they'd be playing it like you have to sit down and like listen like you're
to-
not doing work. You're
Do you remember DEAR? DEAR, drop everything and read. Did you guys do that?
No.
No,
Dare was like.
Dare's like drugs.
no DEAR, not DARE.
That is what I
Peel
don't know.
Peel region maybe only. Did you go to
No,
Peel?
I did.
Yeah, we had a whole thing. It was like, I mean, they got lazy. Like they did it for like a year maybe, and then the next year they didn't do it. But it was like you should set aside 15 minutes, like first period or whatever, to read a book. So the whole class would like put everything away, take out a book. So it was like to encourage reading.
I think that's similar to the classical music thing. Like you didn't really have a choice. You
Yeah.
had to listen.
They were
to
trying
it.
to
It's not like
instill.
you're walking around in the hallways, still going
Yeah,
to class.
yeah, yeah.
Like you're sitting down in your class
Oh,
and you
and
have
then
to do this.
Yeah, no, ours was like in the hallways, like before you get to class.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
that's like they're trying to instill culture in us.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
exactly. Like
But
broaden your horizons.
I don't know
when
if you
you're
read
young.
fiction a lot, but books actually inspire me a lot too. Like I
Yeah.
read like books, and then I'm really into that world, and then I like a character a lot, and I'm like that should be there should be a film about just a character like this.
Yeah, I don't read much.
Oh man, reading's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I have thought about it. Like I want to.
Dude, reading is dope.
I want to start reading like more short stories, and then that more inspires you to do some
Do
more
shorts
short
and stuff.
films, and then maybe read longer books, and then
Yeah.
do feature films, and then
Memento and Prestige
Do-
were short.
read
stories.
series of novels, and then make trilogies of movies.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Check out what I was gonna say. Ludovico Einaudi is this composer. Search up Novello Bianchi. Play like the first 5 seconds.
How am I supposed to spell any of that?
Just Ludovico, Ludovico. If you listen to this guy.
Nouveau.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you got it. Like the first 10 seconds, it's it's like.
There's this guy doing like a tutorial on how to do it on the piano.
No, oh, is he? Just play the song.
We can't play too much of it though.
Yeah, I know. Maybe skip ahead like to the middle when it's like composing like that. Like
Yeah,
it makes you feel.
for sure. Yeah, that's just, I like that stuff. Like, it would be so interesting to try and put that into some sort of like pop, I don't know, like popular brands ad or something, and like make it cool somehow. Like a Nike ad somehow. I don't know. I'm sure that's been in some sort of Nike ad.
I think Fincher did like a Nike ad, and then he put something like it was like the dope.
But like, you don't see that now. You see mostly pop songs or like old 80s, 70s pop music in ads now.
Depends, yeah. Like Apple's usually very current music. Like,
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
use, like,
yeah,
something, but it's
Because they have to, because it's like,
well,
this
they're
is the
yeah
new
innovation
thing, like,
and stuff.
yeah, you got to get your whatever, Apple Music, whatever, get your AirPods in. I know what you're listening to, all this new pop music in the charts.
We know what you like all the time.
Yes, and we know where you are.
We know you just had a bowel movement.
I know your location services are off, but we know where you are. Don't you worry. Okay,
Sorry.
where do we go from there?
From Apple following us. What?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Inspiration.
Yeah, and like music, how that can get us into
You know what
the
also
mood of
is
creating something.
Interesting is like, which I'm trying to do for the next thing I create that's a narrative, is like I feel like I'll sometimes forget which that on set you can get inspired in the sense of like you may have like a whole
A set, like
a film set.
storyboard.
No, a film set.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Storyboard.
Like you have everything planned out.
But
and
then on
whatever.
day of you might change
You
it.
might
yeah.
go, oh wow, I like the way this looks. I didn't notice this
yeah.
before. Let's shoot there instead,
Mhm.
and for the scene instead of where we were originally. gonna
Exactly,
shoot.
which I've done in the past, and it usually works out because you sometimes come up with the best ideas in the moment and stuff. That whole cliche.
Yeah.
But even like when I made the documentary earlier this year, that's when I really realized that shit too. I was
Mhm.
like, I had so many ideas, but you can't have control in a documentary because things change, locations change, timing, schedules, the subject itself changes like sometimes, right? And it came out great because it was like how we rolled with the punches instead of
Mhm.
just being like, fuck, well, we wanted a sunset shot, no more sunset shot. This is bullshit. This is gonna be a shit piece of document.
Yeah.
You know?
It's never gonna work.
It's yeah. So it's like so that, and then also that's something like with narratives. I'm always like the script is this, and it has to have this shot and this shot. But it's like you can get inspired on set. Like you can
Yeah.
be like doing a scene and it's between two guys having an argument, and on the day of it's supposed to have like all this coverage, but it's like, you know what? What if we just never show the other guy's face,
Yeah.
and it's just in this guy's head that we're so like it's just closing in on him and
Mhm.
stuff. So I don't know. That's one way you can be inspired too, is like just allow room for inspiration on a set.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
works for like some people. I watched a video about Bong Joon-ho like
Mhm.
last
He
night.
storyboards the fuck out of his
Like
shit.
he doesn't add anything. He might cut stuff out, but he does not add a thing
Mhm.
after his storyboards.
No, fair. It does. It comes down to the person. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like their
and like
style.
that takes out the stress of him on set.
Yeah.
Like so, I don't know. Some
That
things
for
work
me, it's
some
one thing I want to
people.
experiment a bit because I've done it like because I've
Storyboarding?
done that. Like allowing room on set. Like, I mean, I do that. I do that mostly because sometimes I'm just like, it'll be budgeting reasons or I'll be forced to create like a decision on set. Like we can't do this shot anymore. So what do we do? So I've had to do that, or like the documentary I was saying. But I actually want to go into a project being like it's gonna be a very loose script. Like this is what the film is about. These are the dialogue. This is the dialogue, but we're gonna be like very loose around it. The actors memorize it, but in the moment, I might be like, let's just do a whole take, which is like, you know, this, or even the story might change during the filming. Like I want to try that. I feel like that'd be a really cool form of like creating a short. You know?
Throw yourself into the deep end, see
Yeah.
if you can swim.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I really believe like something cool would come out of it. Even
Something will come out.
something, yeah, something will come out of it. Yeah. But I feel like it would be something cool. I mean, it would definitely.
It'd be an interesting
It'd be
thing to do.
because
For sure.
it'll be all based on the energy. As long as the actors and me and everyone on the set are on the same page.
Yeah,
I
they
get-
know you're doing that too, and they might be more willing to help you out and be like, maybe you know this, and then you go, yeah, that could work.
Yeah,
Or
and
maybe you go, get back
Yeah.
in your spot, pal.
yeah, it's
Stay in
like,
your lane.
it's like
You would
I
never
hear what
go.
you're saying.
Yeah.
But shut
Love
the fuck up.
love the enthusiasm,
But you're wrong.
but don't ever do this
Yeah.
again.
If you want to work in this town again,
Yeah.
you will.
I'll
I'll sewer you.
I will ruin your name in this town.
I give very meanly intricate worded Google reviews.
I think Quentin Tarantino does similar stuff to that. No, like
I feel like he's very no. His is like
he
you
does.
write.
I heard he does shot lists like the night before.
No, but
the
scripting
shooting.
I'm talking about. He's like you
Oh,
cannot
scripting.
get off his
Yeah,
script.
scripting that, but like his shot list, like he makes his shot list the night before, and it's kind of just a vague outline of what
Mhm.
they're gonna do, and then he really decides when they're there. Like
I think
okay,
that's when you're like comfortable being a director too, or comfortable in your
doing
art
it for
form.
so long
Yeah,
too,
you're
right?
very like
10,000 hours.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name of the
I
podcast.
said that like 5 times today.
Yeah, no, but no, yeah. I feel like when you're comfortable in your element too, you know, you're just like, oh, like I like being on
Yes,
set and figuring
for
it out.
sure,
You know?
for sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I want to
Is
try a
there
whole project
anything
like that.
That you're like that comfortable in just being like anything in life, where you can just change on the spot and be like, okay, we'll do it this way instead.
I mean, not really, but I feel
No?
like like on film sets with like when meetings, maybe like pitch meetings, I can
Mm.
pitch and I can kind of see.
Curveballs thrown at you.
Yeah, I can see the
go.
clients like worried about the budget, or the client's worried about like the message, and
Uh-huh.
then I'll have an idea from before the meeting, but then I'll shift gears. Like I've literally gone into a meeting, probably not a good thing to say, but with like no idea what the pitch is, because I'm like I don't know what the client's looking for. They're also very vague sometimes. Like, oh, we'll just talk about it. I'm like, if I know more about what they want in this campaign, then
you
I can.
yeah.
But I'll go in being like, yeah, I have an idea for you guys, and I have nothing, and I'll sit down. And I remember literally like last year selling a campaign like this, sit down and we'll be talking, and I'll notice like what the conversation's headed, and I'll create a concept on the spot,
Mm-hmm.
or something that I thought about a year ago about something else, like a different ad almost, or a different film idea I had, and I'll be like, oh, what if we did this, and and I've had them like love it. And it's like it's the idea of like in the moment I can just like, and that comes from I think being like I used to be in sales, right? Like
Sure.
any job I really did was
You
mostly
do have
sales.
to a lot of talking to people.
A lot of like a lot of creating things on the spot, because
Yeah,
you
exactly.
gotta maneuver, right? Because
Mhm.
even in sales, like if I'm trying to sell you something and you say your answer, like if I have a script and I say this, your answer could be this. So I gotta be ready for all those things.
yeah,
You know, like if you say no, or if you say no with a specific reason, or if you say yes but you're hesitant, or if you say yes but then even then I gotta upsell you now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like a sales training, right?
for sure.
So I've kind of maybe that's part of it, but yeah, and also I do like I said, the games I play, like the music game, for example, when I put a song on, I think of ideas like that. Like in my spare time, I like to just think of ideas.
For sure.
So because of that, that helps me with like in a pitch meeting, in the moment, I can just switch gears and be like, what about this concept? And they'll be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
And all you need the person you're pitching to, them to say one thing that sort of sparks it, and then you can just
Yeah.
run off with it, right?
Which yeah, exactly. Which
Yeah.
again, it comes in handy in directing too, because on like we've been on sets where like due to like time limit, because the budget doesn't allow us to be at this location or have this actor for too long, we gotta cut corners. We're like, okay, we gotta not do this scene anymore, right?
Mhm,
Or the
mhm.
shot. It's like you have to be very like on the ball thinking, you know.
For sure.
But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It's a very I kind of like it. Sucks sometimes to have to change your idea, but I do like it because I my ADD enjoys like these random last minute curves, you know.
And it gives you more experience in doing that, and then
Yeah.
you get better at it, right?
Which I think you should. Yeah, you have to be a very good improviser to be a director as well, you know.
Mhm.
So I do like that. There's this it's more about budgeting more than I guess it's about improvising too. Whereas like when you're filmmaking, because improvising not in acting even, but improvising in the art of filmmaking, and it's I think I may have told you it's like you know Tilda Swinton,
Yeah.
Snowpiercer.
The one, yeah,
she's
she
the
looks
bald
like
woman
like
in
almost
Doctor
like
Strange.
an alien, right?
Yeah, she's a bald
Not
woman in
that
Doctor
that's a
Strange.
bad thing.
She's in that. She's in a lot of stuff. She's in The Dead Don't Die or something. But anyways, she has a story because she's like known for doing big like Marvel level budgets, and then she's
Mhm.
also does a lot of independent films.
Yeah. One for you, one for them.
Yeah, well, she's just like everyone loves her, right? So she'll be picked for anything, right?
Yeah.
So I don't even know if it's probably her choice. Like one for she's like I'll do one for like
One for the
my
money,
bank account.
and then one,
One for my bank account,
that
one
you
for my
think
soul.
is going to be an amazing product that doesn't have much money.
and because you like the director too. Like she
Exactly,
loves
you
Bong
like the
Joon-ho, for
script.
example.
Yeah.
So she'll work with Bong Joon-ho anytime, you know.
Yeah.
So like yeah, so she had this story about because there's a reporter who asked her. He was like, "What's the main difference between like a big budget and an independent budget? You know, like what do you like? Because you've done both." And she was basically like, "Okay, well, if the script has a scene where the boy and the girl have to kiss in the rain, right? If you show up to the set and it's like New York City, it has to be New York City, and
Mhm.
it's like the Empire State Building in the background, and it's raining the kiss. If it's a commercial set, and you show up to the set and it's not raining, then you reschedule.
You wait for
You
the
do other
rain.
scenes maybe. You wait for next week or whatever. You make sure you get it, whatever, right? If it's an indie film set or low budget and you show up and it's not raining, it's supposed to rain, it's supposed to be New York, but it's not raining, then you go, you know what's funny? This scene works better without rain.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
it's like that mindset of like, okay, well, now how do we make this better? We gotta
Mhm.
change our attitude and be
Yeah.
like, this is of course what I wanted actually,
Yeah.
weirdly enough.
Yeah.
And you gotta just like work with it and roll with it instead of being like, oh fuck, how do we finish the scene or do we have to reschedule?
Yeah, what are we gonna
It's,
put a hose
it's-
on top
yeah.
of them? Well, I guess you
She's
can
like,
do
that's
that.
how she sees the difference really. Because I was again having this conversation about budgets, even with like ad budgets that we get. Even if you have a number, or if we have a number and we think it can be this, I feel like it's never enough because your creativity then expands.
It pushes it to
Yeah.
the edge of that.
Yeah, and then you get and then they're like, okay, we'll give you more budget. Then
Yeah,
all of a sudden
yeah.
you're like, oh, then we can do this, and then fuck, again, you're at the edge of the
Mhm,
budget.
mhm.
So I feel like even in like Hollywood, when you have like $50 million or $100 million, I feel like it's never enough because then you're thinking for $100 million. And the way our ambitions go, especially if you're creative, is like if you're giving $100 million, your ambition will stretch the 100 million to maybe like, I need 110 actually.
Yeah,
You know?
you go, look at all this money I have, and then you start whatever,
Yeah.
budgeting everything out and going, okay, we've got tons, we got money for this, okay, now we have a lot of money for this, and then you start getting to the end and
Yeah.
you go, oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna need
What are
that
we gonna do about
extra.
this? Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it's your mental attitude that really changes between indie and, well, again, I haven't done a commercial film ever or like that kind of budget, but even us, man, we've been growing for the past couple of years. Our budgets have like exponentially increased over time, and it's like what used to, like if I look back at the budgets I used to work with,
How did I do it?
yeah, I'm like now I bitch about the budgets I get now, and back then this would have been like a luxury, like
Yeah,
you know. So it's like I feel like it's because we
It'll
come from
never
that
go
creative
away.
background. Like
Yeah.
the ambition for creative people is just so high sometimes that like, or all the time mostly, but it's like you just always kind of stretch it, you know.
Well, you want to make the best product possible, right? So
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what helps is like I guess, or it doesn't help, but it's like also like the box, like for a creative, like the worst thing I could be told, or I'm sure anyone creative might feel this way, is to be told to be in a box. Like you have these guidelines, like you have to do this.
Mm,
It could be a good thing because now you're like, okay, now I won't stray so far. You know, like I
Yeah.
said, like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, like have like a tangible, intangible thing to kind of look at and be like, you know. But if the one thing you're not allowed to do, sometimes corporate ads will do this, is like they give you a budget and they're like, but you have to do this, and basically they're sucking the creativity out of
yeah,
it.
it takes your vision out of it almost, right?
And that's when like, and I've done projects like that quite a bit because you also have to grow the company because right
Yeah.
now we're nobodies, you know. So it's like to grow it, you gotta do those. But it's like that sometimes, like it kind of, that's when you need to have that attitude of like I gotta roll with it. I gotta be like,
Still make out the best of it, like
Yeah.
in the parts that you can be creative.
yeah,
The parts that you can change.
yeah, whatever you're given the box, you gotta try to put a lot of color into that box now.
Mm-hmm,
You know, which is still really tough sometimes, but
for sure.
you know that's one thing you got to do. But I think what I wanted to do, let me see this here. Yeah, what I wanted to do, which we talked about, it'd be kind of fun. I'll see if it works, so because we haven't done this before. But because speaking of like say like corporate ads and like they'll be sometimes creatively limiting, especially like I love my clients that like give me the budget and freedom, and they're like, here's the budget, here's the what we gotta sell or what the point of this campaign is, and run with it. And I've had those, and I love those. Then I have those where it's like, here's this money, and all we care about is just plaster our logo all over this ad, and just like the creative wise, like just these are their constraints, and we don't want to be too abstract. We don't want to be this because they're worried, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I mean that's the other side too. I'm not saying like that they're completely wrong because they're putting money. Some clients that we get, because we're getting the medium business clients or the small business clients, they're putting a budget in which they usually don't, like an amount, and they're nervous because they're like, we got to make sure that we get ROI on this.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Obviously the bigger companies, the ones that do spend maybe $1 million and are still very creative, are the ones who are like, we've already tried
Gone past
and
that
yeah,
almost,
yeah.
right?
So we deal with a lot of clients who are still like with the money giving, like to put into ads, they're just like, just make sure our brand is like just the forefront.
Yeah.
You know?
Get our name out there.
Yeah, but it's very creatively limiting because I don't mind that, but then it's like also don't be abstract. Also don't be creative about it because what if some people don't get it? They're worried about that. They're our target audience, you know?
Mhm.
So I've had to really kind of just dumb down a lot of stuff. But we were talking about this the other day. It's like I feel the ads that stay with you the most, the ads that you think about the most, are the ones that are like so either abstract or so like out of the box.
They're like, it's like companies being like, I don't know, humble about themselves almost. It's like they understand they can like take a shot at themselves almost,
Yeah.
and then people will recognize that and be like, oh, okay, you guys have some self-awareness here.
Yeah.
So like I saw an ad the other day. It was a craft dinner one,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
it said serving size of 4-person serving size or something. ... LOLs.
Yeah, because they're
Because
laughing.
it's like, who
You'll finish it by yourself.
I eat a whole box of it by
Yeah.
myself.
Box of what?
Craft dinner.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the whole like LOLs of it.
Yeah.
But it's like they're not, and the thing is, they're not trying to. They're not like craft is great. They did it in a way where it's like it's funny.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And it's like I know I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but it's like I know a couple clients that or people that I've like discussed projects that I never even went through that never signed on is because like we'd give ideas like that, and they'd be so nervous about the fact that what if it doesn't hit or people don't
get
understand it or
yeah.
whatever that they back out, or they then say no, let's just change it and just they'd be like craft dinner, we make great dinner. Like, that's what they want, you know. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, what's the why would it?
Why? What's that make you? How does
How
that
you
make you
different?
different?
Yeah, and why would
exactly.
anyone like think of you afterwards? You know, like, you're thinking
Exactly.
about that ad because that was kind of funny to you.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm gonna go have like literally. Yesterday I was like, maybe I should have some craft dinner. Not even like thinking about seeing that ad, but like subconsciously, it was probably just somewhere in my
Yeah,
mind,
yeah.
right? So that's what a good ad can do, I guess.
Well, it's like it's confidence, right? Like the
But also those kind of ads, like you really have to just like try and sell that to them somehow, which is honestly the whole battle.
well, yeah, no, for sure. But that's what I mean. For me, there's so many ways to like calculate progress for the
Mhm.
company, at least for Inc. But for me, it's like, yeah, there's the revenue growing. There's like the per project, like how our budgets are getting better, sure. But then one way of me calculating like our success or like our progress is how now, before it was like 20% of the ads I could be creative and 80% was like clients being like, we got to do this and, you know, be in the box and all that
Mhm,
stuff.
mhm.
But now it's like 50% of my clients. I'm like, I have I can instill confidence in them and they're confident in me because if they've seen the work. And then there's still 50% that are like very corporate and very like not just the word corporate, but they're very like it has to be this because we don't want to take a chance with a creative
Mhm.
ad or like something abstract, right? So that's increased from like 20% of my like the work we did to 50% now. And the goal is by next year 100%, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, like we should only be doing stuff that like we can the client has confidence. We should be only dealing with clients that have the confidence of trying
Almost-
something different.
Almost like, here, take it.
Yeah, like giving you the keys, really,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
And like,
yeah.
because at the end of the day, like that's our job. Like your job is to create the product. Our job is to
Tell the consumers why it's.
and tell your story in a creative way or sell your product in a creative way and let us do our thing. And that's what it is. But again, it takes time because we're a young company. We're like what, like 3 years in maybe now, but
Mhm.
that's what it is, you know.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it takes time, and it's exciting to kind of see the change though. Like even the one I was talking about earlier, the ad we have coming up, the year-end video, like they've given me complete freedom, and even the ad we just finished, the documentary we did this year, like this year, quite a bit of it was like you guys take the keys and whatever you guys decide, we trust you,
Mhm.
and they all came out. The ones that were treated like that with that kind of confidence, well, all came out great, and the clients always loved it.
Yeah.
You know. So let's see by next year.
Yeah.
By next
Get to do
birthday.
some super creative ads.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of go over some ads. I'm trying to think which ones would be good to discuss. We can't really show them. Can we show ads?
Well, like React channels do that type of thing.
But yeah, fair enough. You know what? Which one that I always talk about? It's in this book. It's a book called if you're in marketing, you should also definitely fucking read this book. I know you haven't done it yet. Damn Good Advice. It's the guy. Apparently, the guy who wrote it is the guy who they loosely based Mad Men on a bit too.
Okay.
He was like one of the greatest. What's his name? It's always Louis something. I always forget his name.
John Hamm. Thought so.
John Hamm is it was based. It's a true story. He's making himself.
I didn't know that.
It's like Louis something. I'm pretty sure. George Lewis.
Okay.
But he did this ad and like it's like basically it's a book where it's and you'll like it. It's pictures in there. It's a picture book.
Perfect
So, you know,
pop-ups.
Yeah,
one?
it's pop-ups.
Oh my god.
You rub it, you
Now-
sniff, smells come out.
No way. I
No,
thought
it's-
that's illegal now.
There's a marijuana ad campaign he did. You smell it. But he did a lot of cool shit, right? And one of them, let me pull it
You
up.
lick it and then.
And you get
something
high.
goes
You get
home
high.
in your head. Yeah, I don't know what.
That'd be the
I
campaign.
wouldn't call it high, but it definitely does something to yeah.
You're not sober anymore for sure.
Exactly.
There's one ad he did. If you can show a picture, maybe we'll try to put it up. But it's like,
I'm sure we
It's-
can show a picture.
yeah, I think so too. It's like it's a billboard ad he did, right? So
Oh.
he was very outside the box, like crazy outside the box, right? And he would take a lot of chances, right? So when Tommy Hilfiger came out, right? They were like brand new to the industry, but the guy like there was a lot of prestige to the way they were creating their work and all that stuff, and they wanted to be like a big designer company. They weren't
Mhm.
gonna be like your like what H&M is now, like fast fashion. It was like
Yeah.
Tommy's gonna be a design, you know,
Yeah.
like a design company, American clothing designer, right? So the way he marketed it is he put up this big billboard, right, and it said on top of it, the 4 great American designers for men are, and then he listed them,
Okay.
but it was fill in the blanks.
okay.
So it was R blank blank blank, L blank blank blank.
Ralph Lauren.
Yeah. The next one underneath was P blank blank blank, E blank blank blank. That was the toughest one still, but
P and E.
Perry Ellis.
Peter.
You know Perry Ellis?
Yeah, yeah.
Perry Ellis. Then the one
The,
underneath that,
like, little thing like
Yeah.
that.
then the one underneath that was C blank blank blank, K blank blank blank.
Calvin Klein.
And the last one, and this was a no, like it wasn't known back then, but it was T blank blank blank, H blank 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 blank, blank, right? Tommy Hilfiger, right?
No way.
I know. And the only logo on the whole billboard was the Tommy logo, right?
And that's not the other 3.
Yeah, exactly. And then it says this is the logo of the least known of the 4. The great 4 great American designers for men are the names, and then this is the logo of the least known. So what he did was in that one billboard is he just put Tommy in the same conversation as these other 3.
Yeah.
And these 3 these are household names.
Yeah,
Like
everyone
that's
knows
like the
them.
fact that he put these up without filling them up is because you could Calvin Klein, of course, Ralph Lauren, Perry Ellis. This one is like what the so now you're like what the fuck is as good as those 3, right? And apparently,
Tommy Hilfiger's a household name now too. So
exactly.
There you
So
go.
it worked. It
Yeah.
fucking worked. And
And
apparently,
that's the only ad they've ever put out.
they've never done any other marketing
No.
campaign after
No, I
that.
don't think so.
Yeah, they did that. They use run that billboard every year, once a year.
Exactly.
They just keep renewing it.
Yeah.
They're like George Lewis. He solved it.
Yeah.
But apparently he was at I think it was Calvin Klein maybe or Ralph Lauren, one of those 2 guys. But George Lewis was at a party, and one of them came up to him, and they were just like furious, like pissed off, like not just like, oh good, that was a good one you did. They were like angry as shit because they're like, it took us fucking forever to
get our
become a
name.
household
Yeah,
name. Like you know how
exactly.
hard that is to like release a brand and then everyone knows you. It took him years, and he's like, the fact that he did it in like overnight basically. They were mad, but that's great marketing that you actually pissed off your competition almost, you know.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is he probably never got to do any ads for Calvin or Ralph Lauren or Perry Ellis in his life again.
But that doesn't make sense because
Yeah, they
he's
should use
done
him. Yeah.
such a good job. Like they might need it.
Everything good?
Yeah.
A little dark 'cause of the-
Oh yeah, the sun's going down.
Yeah. Sun's going down.
Sun. That's not a song.
Oh,
Make it one, man.
But yeah, that ad I thought. But again,
That's
like
a good
the
ad.
amount of trust that someone
Right.
gave him to do that, you know.
And like, how does he get to that stage where someone can trust him?
But
Like,
it was years though. Like if you read that book, because the book talks about his history too. Like it was years into his career where he like obviously at the beginning he was already doing cool stuff, but it took him a while to get to that. You know?
obviously, he has something to prove.
Yeah, because then I guess like that's like I said earlier about our company, right? As like the only reason I can get bigger budgets now or get creative control now is
Creative
because they've seen what?
Yeah. I was just repeating what
Just
you said.
repeating creative control.
Yeah.
that
I
should
like
be your thing. Like every once in a while, whatever I say,
Doing
just
ad libs.
Yeah. creative control. Creative control.
Give him the control.
Podcast
Yeah,
ad-libs.
yeah.
So I was just like chilling the other day. He was just chilling the other day. Just like the whole fucking podcast.
Yeah, I don't think I'm-
What?
Yeah, I don't
Is it
think
Migos?
I'm Migos. Yeah, I'm not takeoff.
What's the point of this? Fuck you, creative control.
Creative control. You,
It's because
you can get it now.
Yeah, because you can get it now. Because we proved ourselves, right? Like it took a while. I mean,
We're
the-
still proving ourselves.
yeah, exactly. We're still at 50-50, I said, right? Like we have to get to 100% of creative control, right?
Mhm.
We still have 50% projects that we don't have that control. But even in the beginning, like, yeah, it was creating spec ads. It was like me creating like to this day, there's one ad that I've had every other client at least mention, which I think looks so bad now because it's so old and we shot out like a low budget thing. But it was just creative. It was like this spec ad I made for Vans, right?
Mhm.
And it was like shoes for chefs.
Yeah.
That was like the thing that they never actually made an ad for themselves. So we were like, my buddy was a chef and he got these shoes from Vans for free. So let's just make an ad. So I created
Yeah.
like a minute and a half spec ad following this guy who's a chef, and we see him leave the kitchen. And if you look at it, man, The quality I don't think is good at all. But I've had literally a recent client who hired us, who brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, "Oh, we saw your reel. But that one thing you did, like that was really cool." And and that's how even in the beginning when when we first started, I want to say what is it, 2017 maybe I got my first proper ad to do, like paid from a client, and like that was like the first when Ink started maybe I could say. Before that I was just doing passion projects, but when I got hired, they saw that too. So even though creative control is something we're fighting for, it started this whole thing though. Our Ink started creative though. In the sense of like the first 2-3 things I did, I had full creative control. So that was kind of interesting. But then obviously to grow the company, I realized like the whole independent film thing where it's like one for me like to sell creative, and even if the budget's low, I got to do this ad because it's creative, and then maybe 3 for the other, like for the money. And then that'll hopefully ratio will change. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think now that your skills have gotten better since 2017, that maybe trying to get back up to that 100%, maybe doing spec ads now is a good thing?
Nice. Because we already kind of talked about this. I like how you did that.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that now the next step is, which I honestly tried in 2018, but I failed because like.
Well, you did the first one in 2017. If you're doing it in 2018,
Yeah.
that's not that much time of growth, right?
Touche.
Yeah.
But no, this year we're going to create some spec ads for sure. And they're going to be like basically another reason to do creative stuff to show clients that you can trust us
Exactly.
and not be worried. If you put your money in us, we'll make something dope, you know? And again, what helps is now, as well as we have these spec ads, but we also have actual client ads that are really good. So if we can really just, and then we're launching a new website in a couple months. So it's like if we can just put all the creative stuff up front. I do want 2021. I do want to get to that point where the ratio is 5 for us, maybe 1 for them. You know?
Yeah.
Or 1 for them, because maybe that's like you still gotta, because then that's how you, because then like we just said, we have to do it this year still. Spec ads 2020. So maybe by 2022 we gotta do it again, because to level up, like me and my buddy were talking about it, is you always gotta be a part of culture before you influence it. So
For
before
sure.
we level up, we have to kind of do one for them. It might be corporate, it might be a big budget though, to kind of show that we can handle that budget, but we have to do their idea because they're putting the money in. And again, we have to maybe like do 1 for them, but then do 3-4 for us,
Yeah.
and do another 1 for them. So I feel like even though I say 100% creative control, I feel like for another couple of years it'll always be like a couple still that are for them, so we can show the level up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I really want to refrain from saying the word selling out, because not selling out still. We're doing it for a bigger
Well, you got
reason.
mouths to feed here. Not that you have a family, but you have your mouth to feed.
I eat enough for our family.
Yeah, exactly.
Feeds 4?
Yeah.
LOLs.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Nice.
brought it back.
Nice.
Right? Because you said it earlier. That's what I meant by brought it back.
Consider earlier.
No, I said because you said it earlier. I was explaining my joke. Explaining a joke. And
See how long I could.
yeah.
Awkward
You-
silence. It got awkward.
You
there,
ever,
didn't
yeah, I
it?
did. I was like,
Yeah.
what should I say?
Yeah.
You ever seen a Craig Ferguson show?
Yeah, it's
he would-
awkward.
yeah.
But they're just not awkward.
It just no. They used to get weird sometimes, like just quiet.
No, but it goes, okay, so what do you want to do at the end of the show? Awkward pause, touch
Yeah.
my ball or
Something
something.
like that,
My disco ball. Because
Yeah.
he had a disco ball on the thing, and there's like another one.
yeah. Awkward pause is pretty awkward.
Awkward pauses is
Oh,
usually
shoot,
what
I keep talking
happens.
like this. Can you hear me in your headphones at all here?
Yeah,
here
yeah.
you can. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not that bad. Okay.
You just sound better when you're closer.
Aw,
Sounded weird.
that's so fucking. You just sound better when you're in my face.
Don't fucking kiss me, dude.
I think we went over. We want to go over more ads, but it's like I don't want to just keep listing ads, right? So
Yeah, we get it. You.
I'm gonna actually though.
ads.
I'm down to put some in the link. There's some that really inspire me. There's one called "Write the Future" that Alejandro Inarritu, the guy who made Birdman, Revenant, Amores Perros, the director. He won like 4 Oscars already, 5 Oscars maybe.
I know Birdman and Revenant.
Yeah, you should watch Amores Perros or 21 Grams. But he directed one for I think it was Nike. Nike already is wow. Okay, maybe it was Nike because I don't remember the fucking brand. Right? Yeah, it's Nike for sure. Cause Write Your Future.
Boop, 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 write your future.
It's basically Nike. It's probably one of my favorite commercials, man. It's so good. It's like all these stars like Ronaldo and like it starts with soccer mainly, like Rooney, Ronaldo, Beckham, all them, and it's basically Drogba. Every time they do something in the game, like one guy will get side tackled and someone will steal the ball, or one guy will shoot and he'll score. Anytime they do something, they cut to their world in the future, like because he scored a goal. It'll cut to like fast forward and he's now being knighted by the queen and thing, and then they cut back to the game, and then someone blocks what he thought was gonna be a goal. Someone blocks it. So then they go back to the future, and it all changes. Instead of him being knighted, he's now like living in a trailer
Butterfly
park.
effect.
Yeah, everything they're doing in the game. So it's basically write your future. Everything you do when you go in a game, whatever you put on the line, that shapes your future. It was, and the way it's shot, and apparently it took him 2 years to make this ad. Like he kept doing it with breaks.
Oh.
Because there's like 15 like fucking sports stars in there. Roger
Fair
Federer's in
enough.
it for a bit
They
too.
only have so much
Yeah.
spare time.
And
right?
him himself, and the way they shot it too, like technology used, and then him himself, he was doing films too, right? So it took him a while to make it. Apparently, there's a whole article on it. But I'm gonna that ad, for example, and a couple other ads, I'm gonna put in like the description box
for
or-
people to watch to get inspired.
Really, you're gonna do it,
Mm-hmm.
but but yeah, to watch inspired and
Well, you still have to send it to me. So.
and then well, I do actually. So we both gotta do it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I feel like if we just keep going into ads, we'll just this whole thing.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up another one.
Give
but
me
it's
one more.
fine.
Let's do it.
Well, it's just one of the more recent ones that I don't know if it's Nike or like Adidas or something, but it's like new. It's on TV now. It's like a split screen, and like the
Yeah.
person's moving.
It's Nike.
Yeah,
It's Nike.
and it's like a different sport, but it's literally just mirroring the same thing. It's so hard to explain.
Nike has Nike has some of the best ones.
Did that make any sense what I said?
It
No?
made sense to me because I know. what
Yeah,
you're
because
talking
Yeah,
let's do it
exactly.
again. Because yeah.
So it's like here's a screen. It's a split screen, and there's a person whatever running, and then there's on the
different
other screen,
person.
a different person's running, but it's like it perfectly matches up. So you see the person's foot go past at the same time as that one has gone through, and somehow they've done it for like 10 different vignettes of that, and it
different
just
sports and different
matches
things.
perfectly almost. It's very well done.
Yeah, it's really.
And it's not like it's not stuff they've filmed, it's stuff that's already existing. So it's like Venus Williams changing into some other athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very
I think
it's
some
very
of
well
it
done.
is new though.
It could be.
I
Some
think
of
what
it
they did
filmed,
was like
but
some was filmed and some was. That's what I remember at least. Because some footage looks like it's new, like they just shot it.
looks like what's it called? Like it was on a
Stock footage?
broadcast.
Oh, broadcast. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, they probably try to match the. I feel like they shot some new stuff and they try to match the quality basically.
maybe,
Maybe. But yeah. But
maybe not.
we'll put in the description box and you let us know what you think. That's the whole point of this. Gotta
Yeah,
create
yeah.
stir
Well,
conversation.
The fact, like even if they did shoot it, they made it seem like they didn't shoot it, which makes it a little
Pretty cool. Yeah.
cooler.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. No man, there's some. Yeah, I feel like that's on my list, man. Like in my career, yeah, films and we're gonna make music videos and ads, but I gotta make a Nike ad at least once in my life.
Yeah.
Like an
I don't
actual
even know what
Nike
the story behind, like what the actual message behind that ad is.
I remember
but it just
it was
looks
equality,
cool.
no?
It's equality
Yeah.
and unity essentially.
Unity and because we're all like in it together.
Ah.
Yeah.
It kind of supports the BLM.
I would just, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just saw it, I was like, wow, that's well
Really
done.
cool, really well
Yeah.
done, yeah. So because you're creative, right? So you're not looking at it for as a consumer. You're not like I want to buy Nike now because they're talking about equality. You're
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
how'd they
oh, the
shoot
fuck-
this and
yeah,
edit this?
Exactly, yeah.
Consumers are like, that message was dope. I want to represent. I want to, and that's how you like the big brands like Nike, Apple, McDonald's. They're like,
I should know that though. If you want to make ads like that, you should
yeah,
know that.
but you're garbage though.
Yeah, that's fair enough, but I'm still learning.
Are
I
you-
still little baby. Okay, that was embarrassing. Let's
That's pretty
move
bad.
on. Move on.
That's
Move
pretty-
on.
No,
Adil.
let's talk about that for a minute. What the fuck was that?
I was just learning, trying to be funny. Didn't work.
Not really. But what was I gonna say?
Oh, I hate myself.
That's funny. Fuck, I was gonna say something and then you said something. You were stupid.
Something about Nike ads. You're gonna do one when
I
you
wanna do Nike,
grow up.
For the spec ads, I wanna when I grow up, fucking turning 30 next year. For the spec ads, what I wanna do, man, is we should create some in the next month or two. We're gonna do that, but we should frame them for like the big brands like Nike, McDonald's, and Apple, for example. Make 3 smaller versions, like a sports related one and like a food related one and like maybe a technology related one, so that it's like kind of that
Passion one.
fashion one, yeah.
Tech might be hard.
No,
I think so.
I think an iPhone ad we can make a fun, cool one.
They're always like white rooms with like a
Yeah, but
phone floating in and
Yeah, but
then
that's them.
splashed
that's
with
them.
water.
Though. We're not copying them.
But that's what I'm
We're
saying.
doing our own version. We could do one where it's like
no, we're
it's like
doing
an
the
iPhone.
exact same.
We could do like an iPhone where it's like a guy covering his whole life, his whole day, maybe, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, and that's the ad. And we could just make it cool with music and the type of edits and the match cuts and shit. And it's like him recording his life of maybe going to his kid's recital or like, you know.
Dude, you're in a pitch meeting right now.
See, fucking, that's
Yeah,
literally me in a pitch
yeah,
meeting.
Exactly.
Like, I will get that yes.
Yeah. Sure, man. Whatever you want. It works for me.
They may email me later and say no, but in the meeting I'll get the yes.
Yeah, I'll get the yes.
I always get the yes.
Picture this. Okay.
But yeah, I think we should try that. Not for all of them because I don't think with stuff coming up we'll probably have time to make 2 ads, maybe spec
Yeah,
ads.
well, you want to do something like for
Food. I really
a
want to do
bigger
food later.
brand.
Well, like again, we don't have the ability to make a Nike ad like how they make it, but we can use creativity to solve those.
For sure.
Money
for sure.
problems,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
you get it.
And then that's what. Yeah, no, I get it.
You're just listening to us talk now about like our planning our next shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That should be one episode, just like planning, just talking. Like, what do we do about this scene and then that? That'd be kind of interesting. We'll do a storyboard edition.
I don't think that would be interesting.
Yeah, we'll find out. You never know until you do it.
Okay, if you say so.
If you say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. How long's it been? Let's see.
An hour.
An hour and 5 minutes.
Wow.
That's my lucky number.
No, it's not.
Hour and 5. That's not.
It's not, man.
You have a number?
No.
You don't have a lucky number?
No, it's the thing. I don't like when people ask me, "Do you have a favorite this that?" I usually don't.
But I think it's because you'd like to be cool, and you're like, if I say that, then they're gonna be like, oh, I'm so cool.
But it's also like
you're
there's
not
things
cool.
when I used to really like back then.
Now you're
and
older,
I'm
it's
just
different.
like I'm like that wasn't
Like,
that was
favorite
fucking-
color.
It's dumb.
I say blue all the time, and
Yeah, me
now that
too.
I'm older, I'm
I
like,
don't fucking know.
I'm like, I don't wear
Like,
blue.
I wear black the most.
Yeah.
And that's a
Shade.
shade. So like, what are we really talking about here?
Yeah. No, I'm the same way.
Like-
I said blue all the time as a kid because I felt like that was what boys were supposed to say blue,
Mm-hmm.
and then now I'm like, I don't fucking wear. When's the last time I wore blue?
You're right though. I would did try and be different. I was green.
You were in growing up.
Yeah,
Green.
Everyone's just blue and green, dude.
And then even like what number I've always had.
I've never like I have sports numbers that I use, but it's not like a favorite number.
Like what was your jersey number?
But it changed as well, so it doesn't really matter.
So as long as you got to pick it, you're like, I want this number. You're like, whatever number they gave me, that's my number now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No. 91,
Oh.
90.
You're not 91 though.
I know, but
Doug Gilmore.
no, but it was like I saw. So in hockey, that's what I mostly use that as. All the good players have a
90s,
a
yeah.
9 in their number, so they're either 19, 9,
98, 90.
90s,
What was
89,
Sandin was my number.
13. He's pretty good.
He's dope.
So it was always like fast, skilled players had 9. So I was like, oh, I want to be that, so I'll have that number.
I never, even in baseball, I realized I started liking 25 a lot because all the big hitters like Delgado, Giambi, most first basemen that were home run hitters would be 25. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
be that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I don't know how that falls into place. And then
Mm.
basketball's like,
It's a big thing in soccer where it's like this position has this number
Yeah.
because that means that's the good guy in that position.
yeah.
So there's like a number 10, which is like I think you're attacking midfielder. There's your number
9.
9, which is the striker.
11, Ronaldinho. Like it's like
Yeah, I don't know that there's like not. I don't know the numbers that correlate with the actual positions.
In
but there's
soccer, it's
usually
very.
those.
I feel like now, like it's that what you're saying, like you're good and stuff. But I feel like it was started very basic. Cause I swear they just like number.
They could
them.
only get
Like
to
7,
a certain
9,
Like they could only get 20 numbers probably.
Yeah.
They're like we're not gonna print up to whatever.
Yeah, there's,
so
like, fuck
you
it,
take
yeah.
that.
I don't like big numbers like 90 and shit. And hockey,
Well, it's
I
a
thought
thing
a
in
lot.
hockey,
Yeah.
right? Because like all player, like there's no like everyone's just all over the place with their numbers.
Yeah, but they go
Actually,
like.
it's mostly either high or low. Not
Yeah.
now really even.
Well, right now
Everyone's everywhere.
You know what's in basketball is I don't know if it's a trend. But I know at least 3 players that have 0 as a number. Like Westbrook, I think.
yeah,
isn't
that's
Dame
new.
0?
That's new.
Yeah, that's become a thing now. It's like
Yeah.
0.
There's only basketball though. Dame, Westbrook,
I think there's one more.
Cantor.
Is he?
I think he was 0.
Agent Zero. He used to play for the Wizard. He stopped.
No. Gilbert Arenas was 0.
Gilbert.
Was he 0?
Gilbert, was he 9 or something? I'm not 100% sure on that.
Lillard and Westbrook right now. Kevin Love, Andre Drummond,
Kevin Love was a 0.
Jason Tatum, yeah. Aaron Gordon, Josh Richardson, Jeff Teague.
Wow.
Gilbert Arenas.
Jeff Teague was 00, wasn't he?
Was he? Yeah, I think you're right.
That's so interesting.
It's so aggressive.
Yeah.
Just
It's
do
not
one
even
0.
a number, man.
Yeah, you're right. Arenas was 0.
Okay, sorry. Oopsies.
If you were you'd be 91 if you were like
Not basketball, no.
What would you be in basketball?
23.
Too many
No,
expectations.
I
Way
know,
too many
I don't know.
expectations.
I've got no clue. I don't know, number 10 probably.
Just a nice little round number.
Yeah,
When's your birthday? The 10th?
20th.
20th. Pretty ugly number.
Dude, don't be fucking rude.
Be 0-2 backwards.
Yeah, actually, one time on one of my lacrosse teams in high school, we were all choosing our numbers, and one guy put 6 down, and he left. And then one of the people put a 0 in front of it, so when he got his jersey, it says 06. He goes, what the f-? And it was like just the weirdest number you could possibly get. And other people have single-digit numbers, but they don't have 0 in front of
Yeah.
theirs.
He ruined him.
I know. And it wasn't
He
like,
was cool. He was different.
yeah, I don't know. I felt bad about that. I didn't do it, but I felt bad for him.
I don't know if anyone's going to listen to this for more than an hour, so maybe we should start wrapping up.
Sure, man.
I want to see if there's anything specific I maybe missed that I want to talk about. It's a walkabout. No, I think we covered most of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Hey,
No.
I had fun. Hopefully you did too. See you next time.
Yeah, we still don't have a sign off. I think the sign off is going to be music playing in the background as it finishes
Just
off.
sort of.
Making us, overpowering us. Just start slow and then just build, and we're talking.
Then
and
people are going to be like, what did they say
Yeah,
after?
and then they have to listen next time, because then we drop it in the beginning what we said last time at the
Yeah.
end. It's like you have to watch the next episode to find out if we swore.
If we swore. Okay.
What are they, like 12-year-old listeners? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
did they see the P
Yeah, I
word?
should have swear.
Did they see the F word?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to wrap this episode up. I don't know what the title is, but we're going to find something for the title when we listen back to it.
Well, that was just something we said in the.
Creative control. That'd be
Something
kinda
we
cool.
said in the.
Ad libs. That's the name of this podcast. Ad libs.
Adil doesn't know how to get creative control?
Yeah. You mean like a,
Yeah.
what's it called? The clickbait?
Yeah.
Just like the picture's like
Yeah, exactly.
capitals, all capitals.
Uh-huh.
A deal doesn't have creative control. Oh, I gotta watch this episode. And there's like only one mention of it in the whole fucking episode. All right, on that note.
Adil's lost his. How did Adil lose his creative control?
Yeah.
Okay, you got what I'm saying.
Yeah. I want to call this episode ad libs, but yeah. All right.
Okay.
And then you know how we usually end it. Peace.
Bye.
Welcome,